Chapter 4 Rulers of the World. In movies, it seemed like all the most interesting dinosaurs lived in the Jurassic period, but the Jurassic wasn't the high point in the age of dinosaurs. The most ferocious and most famous dinosaur of all time, Tyrannosaurus rex, didn't show up until the Cretaceous period. Cretaceous is not an easy word to read, spell, or say. No wonder Hollywood didn't use it. The Cretaceous was the time when dinosaurs truly ruled the world. Why? Everything about life in the Cretaceous suited dinosaurs. The continents had broken apart more. By the end of the Cretaceous, the globe looked almost like it does today. North America, South America, Africa, and Eurasia were all separate continents. How can continents move? Over time, millions of years, the Earth is always changing. Volcanoes erupt, earthquakes split sections of the land apart, mountains are formed. All of these things happen because the Earth's shell isn't solid. It's made up of movable platforms called tectonic plates. Little by little, as the plates move, the land changes shape. The Earth continues to change, and the continents keep drifting apart, even today. As the Earth changed shape, the weather continued to change, and it was different in the northern and southern parts of the world. New kinds of plants began to grow. It's believed that for the first time ever, there were flowers. Still, the Cretaceous landscape didn't look like the world does today. There were more ferns and pine forests than we have now. It was hotter than it is now. The air was moist in many places. Dinosaurs thrived in the hot, wet environment. With more plants to eat, the bigger plant-eating dinosaurs evolved. Titanosaurs first appeared in the Jurassic period and existed all through the Cretaceous period. They were similar to Brachiosaurus, only bigger. The bones of a new species of titanosaur were found in 2011. They were found by a farm worker in Patagonia at the southern tip of South America. Just the thigh bone alone was taller than a man. The newly discovered dinosaur was 122 feet long and 65 feet tall. That's longer than a professional basketball court. It probably weighed about 85 tons. Scientists haven't named this new species of titanosaur yet. When they do, they'll likely choose a name that honors the region and the farm owners who discovered it. During the Cretaceous period, dinosaurs evolved into many different forms. Some had spikes on their heads, or crowns of frilly feathers. Some had wings. Many dinosaurs were covered in feathers. With more plant eaters roaming the earth, there were more animals for the meat eaters to prey on, so all of the dinosaurs ate well. Dragons in the sky, monsters in the seas. In China, people have told stories about dragons for thousands of years. For many centuries, dragons have appeared in Chinese artwork as a symbol of strength. Why? Early Chinese people may have found pterosaur skeletons, or they may have found remains of velociraptors, which look a lot like dragons. Since they didn't know about dinosaurs and pterosaurs, people might have made up stories about these fantastic beasts. In Scotland, there have long been stories about a creature called the Loch Ness Monster, which supposedly lives in a lake. The monster is said to be a huge serpent, like a long-necked plesiosaur. Scientists don't believe the Loch Ness Monster ever existed, but it's easy to see where the myth might have come from. At one time, giant, long-necked sea creatures did exist. The bones from an ancient plesiosaur may have sparked someone's fears or imagination. Another fearsome dinosaur from the Cretaceous period was the Utiraptor. It lived in the American West. It was 23 feet long and 8 feet tall. That's so big it would barely fit in most people's living rooms. Utiraptor had huge claws on its toes. It would chase down its prey, then use its claws to rip its victim to shreds. Or it may have pinned the other animal down while it tore off hunks of flesh. Utiraptors were more than twice as big as velociraptors, which lived in what is now Mongolia. But velociraptors were plenty fierce. One set of dinosaur bones has been found that shows a battle to the death between a velociraptor and another dinosaur called Protoceratops. The Protoceratops was an 8-foot-long creature with a huge head, a frilled collar, strong rear legs, and a parrot-like beak. Both skeletons were preserved at the moment they died, in killing positions. The velociraptor's clawed foot is jammed right into the Protoceratops' neck. But the fiercest dinosaur of all time evolved toward the end of the Cretaceous, the end of the age of dinosaurs. It was the Tyrannosaurus rex.